If you're a beginning crocheter and you're just learning the granny square, or if you're an experienced crocheter and you just need some more inspiration from an old classic, we're going to talk about all the things you can make with a basic granny square. Hi, I'm Beth, this is Summer, and we are Chic Crochet. Now there's no shortage of varieties of granny squares, and I have tried many of them. There's beautiful complicated ones such as this, and then we have daisies or sunflowers, of course, and then this is a basic cotton granny square. This is more like what we're going to talk about today. This is a basic acrylic granny square. This is a hexie granny that I made a purse of, and you can see that purse in my video library. And this is made from the Red Heart self-color changing yarn. The idea is that you don't have to cut off and change colors, that you just continue to crochet and it's going to change colors on its own, which in theory, you know, that's a great idea, but I don't know how many attempts it took me before I got the color change correct, it happening in the right place. So this is a great idea, it's a great concept, but whether it would work for you, I'm not sure. It was a no for me, a pass. So I tried one, I may have made a couple more, but anyway, I did not like it. This is not worth my time. And also the fabric or the yarn is very scratchy, it's not very soft. So we're going to talk about the basic granny square. What can we make from a basic granny square? If you're developing a passion for making granny squares, you are in the right place because the possibilities of items you can make with a granny square are almost endless. And we're going to talk about a bunch of them today. So let's get started. Please excuse me as I refer to my notes because I've got lots of notes here and I'm going to have to refer to them to stay organized. And I have all of these patterns are in categories. So first we're going to do blankets. Then I have a rug, I only have one rug in there. And then we're going to do pillows, and then all different types of bags. And then we're going to finish with going over wearables like crochet tops. And these are going to be summer tops. All of these patterns except for one are free patterns. They're either PDF or on a website or a blog, or they are a free YouTube tutorial. So I'm going to have plenty of free ones for you to choose from. Let's start with blankets. So first we have this blanket from the Maxim website. It's called the Free Bobby Granny Square Blanket, and it is in these very pretty colors. I don't know that I would have chosen these colors, but that is why it is so neat to look at different pattern designers and get inspiration from them, because I'm seeing pattern ideas that I would not have thought of, but now that I see it, it's something I would love to try. So this is more like a slate grayish blue, and then they've used an ivory or some sort of creamy white in there too, paired with a peachy orange. It's very pretty. So in the pattern, if you're a beginner, I'm sure that they're going to show you how to join and also how to do a pretty trim, do a pretty border. Next, we have this really gorgeous blanket. It's called the Granny Goes Random Blanket. And this is another free pattern on Yarnspirations using Red Heart Super Saver Bitty Stripes in the colorway Rainbow and Rainbow Mist. The description on the website says, blend modern style with tradition to create this lively crochet blanket. Using 2 mixes of Red Heart Bitty Stripes, you'll create simple granny squares with gorgeous color. Practice working motifs in the round, plus partial motifs in rows for half and quarter shapes. Alternate 2 rounds from one ball with 2 rounds from the other to reveal a fun random color mix. Simply join your squares in a diamond tile pattern to complete this dynamic throw. And I agree, this is a dynamic throw. This is really gorgeous. I can see where you can use different colorways of the bitty stripes and just have a lot of fun making this. So another gorgeous example of a basic granny square. How lovely. Next we have from the Lovecrafts website. This one is absolutely gorgeous. It's called the Rowan Granny Square Blanket. I believe this is made out of wool. I wouldn't use wool myself because I live in a warm climate, so I wouldn't need wool. But if you lived in a cold climate, I can see how you might need this. Also, these, like the Spectrum blanket, the rows seem to be on the diagonal. But I just absolutely love the color scheme that this person has chosen. It is quite stunning. I can see this one being a real heirloom or work of art. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the fourth one we have is, again, a Mary Maxim pattern. This one is a paid pattern on Mary Maxim, and it is the only paid pattern, I believe, that is included in this entire video. Everything else is free. So this one is called the Seaside Throw. It's in these gorgeous blues and greens. Also, it has a bolster pillow and a throw pillow with it. I'm assuming that is in the pattern. I'm not sure. I think it's included in the pattern. But I love the blues and greens and almost this periwinkle that they've used around the edge. Those colors are just spectacular as well. Really stunning. It looks like there are a few big giant granny squares in this pattern, and then in the other squares it's like 4 squares put together. So this is really pretty. And the last blanket pattern I have is this one. This is on the Yarnspiration website, and it's called the Granny's Corner Crochet Blanket. I love the way this one is turned, and just the layout of it just gives it more visual interest. That's why I've included it. Again, these might not be the colors that I would choose. That's why granny squares are so wonderful. You can use whatever color in the world you want to. It is up to you. It is your blanket, your colors. You use what you want to use. It's just helpful for me to have these different formats and these different patterns laid out in different ways. And that just gives me inspiration, and then I can go wherever I want. I can take my mind wherever I want with the colors. This next one is the only rug that I've included, and it's called the Hobie Cherry Rug. All of the squares are the same. It's really pretty. I love the colors this person has chosen. So here you can see the picture of it on, it looks like it's hung outdoors on a fence, and then you can see what it would look like actually placed in a living room or in a room. I'm not sure where this designer is from, but it being Hobie, I'm guessing they're somewhere in Europe. Whatever it is, I love it, and I love the way they have mismatched the colors together. For some reason, they actually work. I like this design a lot. That's so pretty. And next we're going into pillows, and this is from the Yarnspirations website, and this is called the Granny's Diamond Throw Pillow. I might be able to figure this out without a pattern, but I'm not quite sure I could. So this is something I might have to reference a pattern for, but I really like the look of it. I also love the tassels, and it being not just straight across horizontal but turned on the diagonal like this, it just gives it a lot of visual interest and appeal. That looks high-end to me. If I were in a home that was staged real nicely, I can see something like that being in a high-end home. I think that's very pretty. And this next one I absolutely love. The colors in this are just gorgeous. This also is on Yarnspirations. It's called the Rest Easy Pillow. Don't you love that? The Rest Easy Pillow. So pretty. I love the title. And the colors in it are absolutely gorgeous. This looks so springy and summery. So it looks like they've only used 2 different colors of granny squares, and they've just laid out this pattern in the most interesting way. I love how the corners have come together on this one. So this is one I would really love to try. This is absolutely gorgeous. The next one we have is a body pillow, and this is also on Yarnspirations. It's called the Square Serenity Body Pillow. And you can see how you can make these in any shape or size. So if you didn't want to do the full body pillow, of course you could make it smaller, or you can make it the squares smaller in scale and do this same pillow but in a smaller scale, not a full body pillow, and make it like a lumbar pillow. That would be really nice. Again, I would use different colors, but I totally get the idea behind this, and I think it's fantastic. Before we go to the next one, this is the merinoandtomatoes blog. The color choices in this next one are absolutely stunning. There's not really a name for this pillow that she gave it, but it's just so bright, so beautiful, so summery, so springy. It is just gorgeous. These are not colors that I would pick, but I would mimic her. It wouldn't be something in my head that I would think about or I would come up with, but I absolutely would love to mimic the exact color choices that she used and this exact pillow. I absolutely love this. I think it is gorgeous. I have one of my besties. I don't know if she's watching this, but if she is, she probably knows who I'm talking about. But I have a bestie, and she has beautiful colors like this on her front porch, and they carry into her living room. She is so good about switching out her colors every season, but in her summer, these are her colors, and I would love to make this for her. It is gorgeous. The last one we have is by Be Hooked. It's called the Modern Granny Square Pillow. And so she has done, it looks like 4 large granny squares, turned them or folded them on the diagonal, and then joined them together like that. I think this is a great take on the granny square pillow. If you just looked at this, you're not going to think, oh, that's a granny square pillow. That wouldn't be your first thought probably. It's a really smart way to change the design and give a new twist to a basic granny square. Really smart. All right, now we're going to go on to our bags, and we're going to start with a phone pouch. And this phone pouch is a YouTube free tutorial. It's by Bonnie Bay Crochet. It is a simple 2 square phone bag. Now, for myself, I would personally make this 4 squares. So she has taken 2 squares, and then she's just made a solid back for it and joined the solid back onto the 2 squares. For me personally, I think it's just as easy for me to make 4 granny squares and do it that way. But this is going to be a real simple basic tutorial for those beginners. And next we have another very basic, easy pattern for beginners. This is a free tutorial by Sew Sam, and it is just a basic granny square bag. So you've got 2 large granny squares, and then you join it together, and then you make the handle or the strap. Now I've made several like this, and I'm going to insert one. This one is one that actually I had one of my friends was staying over, and I was giving a gift to her to take home. It was a purse, and I also gave one to her daughter, and then I thought, oh well, she's got a daughter-in-law, I would love to send her something, and I didn't have a gift for her. So she was spending the night with me. My friend was. It was Amy was spending the night. So I knew I had a little stash of granny squares somewhere, so I ran and I got those out, and I just threw them together, and I stitched the bag together, and it really just took me minutes because the granny squares were already made. And I made a tassel, threw that on, and sent that home with her as a gift to her daughter-in-law, and her daughter-in-law loved it. So that is a good reason for when you don't know what to make, when you feel like you've lost your crojo, or you just need some mindless crochet, or maybe you are running low on yarn but you've got a lot of scraps. Just whip up some granny squares and just keep them stashed away, because you can use them for so many things, and you can pull them out and make a quick little gift like this that's going to make someone's day. It's absolutely going to make someone's day. The next one we have is the 3 square bag. Now this is really cool. I have made these before too. So you just make 3 large granny squares, join them together, and then make the strap. This is a free tutorial. This is the boho bag by Mrs. Stewart's Crochet Club, and she has so generously made this free tutorial on YouTube. And this is a very fun bag to make. Also another crowd pleaser. If you give this to a friend, they are going to love you forever. The next one we have is the book sleeve by Ashton Stitches. And I'm not sure how many, I think this might be 6 squares for this, but I'm not sure. It's a free tutorial, and I will share that link too. So this could also be used as a Kindle sleeve, or you could make it a little larger and make a laptop sleeve. There's lots of versatile ways you could use this. You could even use it as a clutch bag. So take a pattern like this, learn to make it, and go wild with it. You could make so many different variations. The next one I have is the 13 granny square bag. So this tutorial is by Crafty by Cat. I have made so many of these. This is not mine. This is Kat's bag. This is the picture from her tutorial, but I'm going to insert a few. Once I learned how to make this bag, I could not stop making it. I made so many. This first one here is a self-striping yarn, or it's just a color changing yarn that I used, and then I used the cream trim for it. I gave that to a friend last year for her birthday, and honestly, you would have thought I would have given her $1 million. She thought it was amazing. She absolutely loved it. She just went wild over it. A bag like this just makes a really big impact. It's not that complicated to make, but it just makes a very big impression. The next one is a fall bag. I'm still in the bags that I've made out of the 13 granny square bag. And the next one is, I used a solid color. So like this coaster right here I'm using. It was just a solid color like this, and then I just did a trim around it and then joined it. I made this one for a charity auction that was last fall. Then I made a bag charm by making these oak leaves, and then I did a little acorn on it, and that was sold at auction. It was a really big hit. And here are 3 that I made. I'm just hanging them on the corner of the bed. So all of those were gifted and taken immediately away from me. So those, I wanted to save one for myself, but that didn't happen. So I do have one, but I didn't get to keep one of these. But anyway, the 3 people who got these absolutely love them. And this is how you lay it out. You're going to see this in the tutorial, but this is how you lay out the squares to form your bag and put your colors together. And in this, oh, so that's me. I'm modeling one of the bags there. And then this last picture here, this is my lovely niece. We went to New York City on a trip a couple summers ago, and she is carrying the bag that I made her. And we are at the Tiffany's jewelry store. It's adjacent to Trump Towers in New York City. And we are getting ready to dine at the Blue Box Cafe at Tiffany's. I didn't even know that was a thing. My niece actually made the reservation, and she kept saying, we're going to the Blue Box Cafe. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even ask. And when we got there, I was absolutely blown away. So did you know that Tiffany's had a restaurant? I didn't. So you go into this incredible, gorgeous jewelry store, and then in the jewelry store there's, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe even 5 floors, and you can see up through the middle, and everything's just all gleaming and shiny and crystal, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And you get to the top floor, and there's the Blue Box Cafe, and they have all the little Tiffany blue boxes hanging from the ceiling. If you get a chance to go, it is quite the experience. But anyway, that's where we were at the Blue Box Cafe, and she is carrying the granny square purse that I made for her. Next, we are going into tops, and this first one is by Crafty Station. This is a YouTube tutorial. It's just an easy granny square top. I believe this is going to be 12 squares, unless there are extra ones on the side. I'm not sure, but just a very cute little top. And this precious crochet YouTuber does a really phenomenal job in her tutorial. The next one we have is by Yarn Maid, also another YouTube tutorial. I'm calling this the short cropped top with the ruffle. I don't think it had a title that I remember, but anyway, it is looks like 4 basic granny squares with 1, 2, 3, 4, with 4 half granny squares joined together. The half is probably going to be the most complicated part, but she's going to show you in the tutorial. And then you make the ruffle and you put on the straps, and that is really cute. Next we have AC Crochets, and this is a 4 granny square top, so it joins in the back and then joins at the neck. This is just super duper cute. I love the colors that she's chosen and the contrast against the white. It's just beautiful. And then next we have another incredible top and also a skirt by Schuyler Crochets. This is the diamond crop top with the fringe. I'm not sure if she covers the skirt in the video, but she does do the top in the video. So this is a free tutorial. And just to give you a little bit of extra coverage, if you're going to do a crop top like that, you can see how you could add that fringe and give you just a little more modesty. That's really, really pretty. The very last one we have is Crystal Everdeen. This is a lot of little granny squares. Now, as you can see, she has used a daisy granny square. Of course you can do that, but this video is about the basic granny square. So if you wanted to substitute those squares for a basic granny square, you could definitely do that. It might show skin, so with any of these, if you were doing a wearable, I would put some sort of lining or wear something underneath it for modesty. But this is really, really cute. And that's the end of the list of the patterns we're going to go over today, but there were so many. This video could have been 2 days long. I mean, there are just endless ideas out there. So I hope you will take these ideas and put your own spin on it. I would love to hear how these have inspired you. What would you like to make? What are you going to make it out of? What colors are you going to use? Please drop it in the comments below. I would really love to hear what you're going to make. And if you've made it this far, leave me a little yarn ball emoji. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would. I've been on YouTube almost a full year and I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, and I would just love to hit that 5,000 mark before my 1-year anniversary. Please be part of my YouTube crochet family. Summer and I want to remind you to let your light shine and always stay chic. Bye-bye.
Chic, chic crochet.